Assassin's Creed Mirage just pulled off one of the biggest surprises of the year. 2 years after launch, when most fans assumed that Ubisoft had moved on, they dropped a 20-minute showcase for an expansion that nobody saw coming, Valley of Memory. And here's the kicker, it's completely free. That alone would have been enough to get the community buzzing, but Ubisoft didn't stop there. They gave us an in-depth look at the new desert setting, teased deeper story connections for Basim, showed off fresh gameplay mechanics, and locked in a release date of November 18th of this year. So in this breakdown, I want to go beyond just recapping the stream. We'll go through what Ubisoft actually showed, the environments, the new tools, and Basim's expanded role. But we'll also speculate about what the ruins might mean for Assassin's Creed lore, how this ties into Mirage's ending, and why Ubisoft is choosing now to bring back Mirage back to the spotlight. But okay, so the showcase opened with sweeping desert landscapes, and immediately you could feel the contrast to Mirage's Baghdad. Instead of crowded markets and busy rooftops, we saw endless valleys, sun-drenched cliffs, and ruins stretching into the horizon. And right away, Ubisoft made it clear this isn't just Basim's solo journey. Dervis, who is in the base game, gave player contracts, plays a bigger role here. The two of them step out of a valley and into a desert that feels alive in a completely different way than Baghdad ever did. For players who love Mirage's tight stealth, this setting instantly sets new expectations. In Baghdad, you could vanish into a crowd. In the desert, it's you, the sand, and whoever is hunting you. And now one of the highlights of the showcase was the reveal of massive underground tombs. Ubisoft showed Basim descending into chambers filled with traps, puzzles, and hidden passageways. And so for longtime fans, this is a callback to Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood's tomb exploration, or even the tombs in Origins. It's slower, more deliberate gameplay, solving puzzles, timing jumps, and working through platforming sequences, but it's exactly what many fans felt Mirage was missing. In above ground, ruins scatter the desert. Some are climbable, some hide entrances, and some act as arenas for combat encounters. The verticality here is a big shift. Instead of climbing towers in the middle of a city, Basim is scaling ancient stone cliffs. And now Ubisoft didn't stop at exploration. They showed new assassination tools built for this environment. And so, for example, traps can now be set in wide open spaces, giving you more control over enemies in areas with fewer hiding spots. Smoke bombs and throwing knives return, but Ubisoft hinted at upgrades tailored for longer sightlines and ambush tactics. Combat also looked tweaked. The desert has fewer choke points, meaning fights spill into open areas. And so Ubisoft seems to want players to think more about spacing, dodging, and timing rather than relying on the environment to break up combat. And then, of course, there's parkour. Instead of rooftop chases, you're swinging across ruins, leaping over chasms, and pulling off vertical climbs that feel closer to AC Origins pyramids. The flow is different, less about weaving through crowds, more about precision movement in wide environments. And so all this makes the desert feel like a fresh playground without abandoning Mirage's DNA. And now here's where things get really interesting. Ubisoft didn't just show gameplay, they teased story elements that could have major lore implications. In Mirage, we followed Basim's rise from street thief to assassin, but fans know his story doesn't end there. In Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Basim is revealed to be tied to Loki, one of the Isu, the ancient precursor race at the heart of the franchise. So when Ubisoft teases ruins in the desert that connect to ancient history, you have to wonder, are these Isu ruins? Are we finally seeing more of how Basim's story bridges from Mirage into the wider Assassin's Creed mythology? And the design of the ruins shown in the showcase wasn't accidental. Giant stone doors, intricate carvings, underground chambers, these all scream Isu. And now Ubisoft loves to use DLCs to expand lore without spoiling the mainline games. And so think about Origins' Curse of the Pharaohs or Odyssey's Fate of Atlantis. They use expansions to dive deeper into the Isu without overwhelming the main campaigns. And so it feels like Valley of Memory might play a similar role here. The name alone, Memory, has obvious ties to Assassin's Creed's Animus concept. It suggests that Basim is unlocking something buried, not just in the desert, but in his own past. And so the question is, why bring Dervis along in all this? Well, in the base game, he was more of a side character, but here, he seems central. My speculation is that Dervis's contracts may tie into the discovery of these ruins. Maybe he's been searching for artifacts, maybe he has knowledge that Basim needs. Whatever the case is, Ubisoft wouldn't spotlight him unless he had a bigger narrative role. And so this is where speculation goes even further. Assassin's Creed Shadows, which is set in feudal Japan, was the game that was just released, and so could Valley of Memory plant seeds that lead into that and bridge the gap even more? And now it wouldn't be the first time. Ubisoft often drops connective tissues and DLCs, little threads that make sense only when the next game comes out. And so fans are already digging through the showcase for references. If these ruins are Isu related, don't be surprised if they've linked directly into Shadow's larger narrative. And then so the overall question is, why is Ubisoft doing this now? Well, first off, it's free, and that is massive. In an era where most DLCs cost anywhere from $20 to $40, Ubisoft dropping a full expansion at no extra cost is quite rare. I mean, it is Ubisoft, and so the fact that they're doing it for free, that's pretty damn cool. And now they did explain that Savvy Games Group helped fund the project, but Ubisoft made a point of saying they retained creative control. And so that reassurance was important. It quieted concerns that outside investors were shaping the story. And now from a fan perspective, this feels like a goodwill move. Mirage was praised for its smaller scope compared to Odyssey and Valhalla, but some players felt it ended too quickly. And so a free expansion 2 years later is Ubisoft's way of saying, we're not done giving this game love. And the timing is also strategic. Assassin's Creed Mirage hit Xbox Game Pass in August, and so that brought a wave of new players into the game. And now, just as they're finishing the main campaign, Ubisoft drops news of a free expansion launching on November 18th. And so that is smart marketing. It ensures that Mirage doesn't just fade into the background, it brings old fans back and locks new players in. And the DLC also lines up with Mirage's 2-year anniversary. Instead of a small patch or a thank you message, Ubisoft marked the milestone with a full expansion. And so it positions Mirage not as a one-and-done side entry, but as a lasting part of the franchise. And so overall, the community's response has been overwhelmingly positive. On Reddit and Twitter, fans praised the fact that Ubisoft is leaning into puzzle-heavy tombs yet again. Many said the showcase felt like a return to Assassin's Creed's roots. There's also excitement about Basim's story continuing. Some players felt Mirage ended too abruptly. Valley of Memory gives them more of what they wanted, more Basim, more lore, and more exploration. And of course, there's skepticism too. Some fans wonder if free DLC can really deliver on scale. But even those voices admit the showcase looked promising. And let's not ignore the hype factor here. With the release date locked for November 18th, the countdown is already on, and fans are treating this like a mini-sequel, not just an add-on. And so at the end of the day, Valley of Memory feels like Ubisoft giving Assassin's Creed Mirage a second life. The setting is bold, the gameplay shifts keeping things fresh, the lore teases connect directly to Basim's larger role in the Assassin's Creed universe. And the fact that it's free makes it a no-brainer for anyone who's played Mirage, whether you bought it 2 years ago or just picked it up on Game Pass, to jump back in and check it out. And so mark your calendars, because on November 18th, Basim's journey continues in the deserts of Saudi Arabia. And so 2 years later, Mirage is still proving it still has plenty of secrets left to uncover. And with Valley of Memory, Ubisoft might have just delivered one of the most exciting DLC announcements in recent Assassin's Creed history. And so if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button if you're new, as I will continue to make more gaming news videos just like this one. Until next time.